Hello, everybody. I'm sorry, I got a couple of messages while that was on that the connection wasn't great. So I do apologize for that. But you've got me now. Can you hear me okay? Yay! I love it when I see a sea of thumbs up because, we can put all these things together, but the tech sometimes just doesn't necessarily go away. But anyway, I'm feeling lucky tonight. And I'm really glad you guys have joined us because, it's pretty awful outside. It's cold and it's wet and it's dark. So what better way to see a Thermomix in the comfort of your own home with us cooking for you in the comfort of our own homes. And, secretly, I'm excited because what I'm cooking tonight is tomorrow night's dinner. So, that's a win. So welcome to everybody. I noticed in the registrations that quite a few of you are already TM6 owners, so looking for a little bit of inspiration. But if you're looking for something particular tonight, pop it in the chat if you're looking to learn about a certain thing or if you've got any questions. And I know we've got a few people on here tonight who are TM31 or TM5 owners, and you're just going, well, what's this Thermomix TM6 all about? And you would have heard the announcement yesterday that for the next 9 days, you can access a TM6 with an extra one of these for only $29. So I dare say that has sparked your interest. And you would have also heard recently that we are expecting a price increase early July. So this is going to be the cheapest and best offer you will get for the TM6. So there are some different payment options available. So please speak to your consultant. But one of the best ones at the moment is to come on board and earn your TM6. And you can do that with only 4 sales. Yes, you heard me, 4 sales. If that doesn't interest you, we do have 24 months interest free, or of course we have a 3 payment over 3 months option, or just a single credit card payment. Some of you are in small businesses, which means you can actually claim that back in tax time, which is only a couple of weeks away. So lots of different options. And if you want more information, please speak to your consultant. So what I'm going to do is just quickly introduce you to the TM6 for those that aren't familiar with it. And then we're going to go straight over to Mandy, who'll be doing our first dish. So here it is, my amazing business partner. And what you will notice is that this is the home screen. So what you can see at the moment is this is time, temperature, and speed. And these are all adjusted based on you. Oops, I got it on there on the speed. And you are adjusting whichever one is large with the dial there. If you need to activate the reverse function, so for those with previous models, you're just tapping the little arrow there. The other cool thing about this one, a bit like any smart device, if you swipe to the left there, you can access all of these modes on the right. Now, just to give you an idea about this smart connected kitchen, is when we got this machine 3 years ago now, there were 9 modes. We're now up to 17. So, and that's happened in a really short period of time. So it just gets better and better, and we're all very excited by that. Now, the other way is that takes us into Cookie Do. Now, Cookie Do is like our Netflix for recipes or iTunes for recipes, where you can scroll through a global platform, looking at different recipes, adding them to a shopping list, and then even sending that shopping list off to Woolworths to do your shopping. Now, that is fully connected. So through your machine, you can type in an ingredient, go to your fridge and go, what have I got? I've got some chicken, or actually, since we're doing vegetarian tonight, I've got some sweet potato. What am I going to make? And you'll come up with, there'll be frittatas, pies, fritters. There'll be all different options for you to make with that ingredient. You can type in a couple of ingredients and you'll get recipes as well. So it then leads towards us not wasting things, because without a Thermomix, you get to the end of the week and you've got these straggly bits, and in the absence of knowing what to do with them, we throw them in the bin. And I know Mandy will be able to give better numbers on how much each household throws out in food, but it is huge. And I know with Thermomix, it is minimal, because whatever you've got, you can turn it into something. And in fact, I'd love it if you've got something in your fridge at the moment that you're going, I've got no idea what to do with that. Pop it in the chat and we'll give you some ideas tonight on what you could do with it, because we're all about saving time and being healthy. And that's what most people tell us they're interested in. No one says saving money, but then they look at the price of the Thermomix and they go, oh, wow. And we know it's an investment, but people who use a Thermomix report saving $60 to $80 a week on their shopping bill straight away. It's not something that happens over 5 years. It happens instantly. So when you're shopping the outskirts of the supermarket, you're not paying for all those processes and packaging that you can actually create yourself at home. Anyway, I think I had a little rant there, but I'm excited. Anyway, I'm going to go over to Mandy, who's making us a delicious vegetable curry tonight, and she will tell you. Oh, there she is. Yay, thank you.
Hi, everybody. Just on what Michelle said, and good on you. Thank you, Michelle, for pointing out all that stuff about saving, using everything up and no waste. And one of the really fantastic things of the Thermomix, as Michelle sort of hinted at, was, you can make your own tomato sauce. You don't need to go and buy tomato sauce in a plastic container in the supermarket and so on. There are so many things. If you go and look in the supermarket, what can you actually home with no packaging? It's amazing. And just on that food waste, they say that 1 in 5 bags of shopping goes to food waste, which is absolutely horrendous. Anyway, let's get on. I'm going to show you one of the functions of the TM6 that you can't actually see as a mode. It's using high heat, and high heat goes up to 160 degrees. This means that in the TM6, we can caramelize onions, we can brown meat, we can make toffee. I don't know if you saw that in that little video as we entered. Toffee, we can make honeycomb. So, but let's go on the healthy side, and I'm doing some wok fried curried vegetables. Or wok style, sorry. So I had my recipe in my week, and I've just pulled it up here. Start cooking. 3 garlic cloves. I don't know about you, one of the things I love about the TM6 is I never, ever have to clean a garlic press ever again. All right, always need to be very careful when I went through to the next step. So now when I've taken the lid off, it's gone minus. So you must make sure that you tare your scales back to 0. Otherwise, you get yourself in all sorts of trouble.
A good little tip is that if you do forget and you've already started pouring things, to know what you've already put in, pop your lid back on and it'll give you that number.
Very clever.
Helps with your maths and your cooking.
All right, now I'm going to need 2 teaspoons of curry powder, and this is a curry powder that's made, from a cookie dough recipe. So with, as you have a Thermomix for a while, you collect all sorts of different spices and things, and it's quicker for me to make this at home than it is to go to the shops and buy it. So, and it's much better for me too. So I've got 2 teaspoons going in there. I've got 80 grams of brown onion, which you just said to cut into slices. I'm actually going to break it open a little bit. Oops, see that? That's just going in here. Okay. Then I have 300 grams of leek. It's up here. And you'll see that's sort of half filled my bowl there. Then when you're using high heat, it asks you to put the splash guard on. This is the splash guard, and you can see it's got these 2 little flanges, one either side, and you will have noticed that the TM6 locks the arms lock the lid in place, and if it can't lock the lid in place, it won't actually start. But this also then these little bits get locked in with the arms as well. Have to press done. Conscious thing, and this little the 3 wavy lines is just meaning that it's high heat. It's not asking me to turn to any particular speed. I am just going to turn it, and that's going to start the high heat. And I know we're going to move over to Michelle quickly. If you're using high heat, you will actually hear a sizzle over time. There we go. That's me for 6 minutes. Back to you, Michelle.
Thank you, Mandy. Here we go. Oh, you girls, too quick for me. Beautiful. Thank you. Welcome back to my kitchen. So the dish that I've chosen to make tonight is a tomato pasta with vegetables. Now you can see here I've got a whole range of things happening. And the thing that I love about this dish is that it uses the Varoma as well. So sometimes people go, well, how can I make more volume? If you're making something, and it could be a non-vegetarian dish, it could be meatballs or it could be a curry or anything like that, use that steam. I heard someone say yesterday, it's free steam. So, so think about what you're cooking and whether you can add to that and enhance it. So I'm going to just take you up to the screen just so you can see how easy it is to navigate. So when you go into a recipe, and I actually save this in my week. So one of the things you could do with Cookie Do is save things in a weekly planner. Now I can scroll in here. It gives me the level of difficulty is easy, prep time 15 minutes, total time 30. So what a great weeknight meal on the table in 30 minutes, and 8 portions. So a big meal as well. Then down the left-hand side, it's got all my ingredients, which is what I used earlier to get them all ready. And then it's got my preparation there, but I don't need to read that because when I go start cooking, it's going to tell me exactly what to do. So I'm just going to pull it back so you can see me popping things in. Now, I like to keep my Thermomix with the simmering basket sitting in here and the measuring cup in the simmering basket. So you haven't got the measuring cup in the hole here. So it can breathe when it's not in use. I know that probably sounds a bit silly, but breathing, but I think you know what I mean. So here we go. Now my carrots are quite small, so I've actually got 2 carrots in there. The beauty of dishes like this is there are really no rules. So the next is a brown onion, just cut in half. So I think when I first got my first Thermomix 10 years ago, to never have to cut an onion again was one of the best days of my life, knowing that. 1 garlic clove. If you like more, you can put in more. Now, later in the recipe, it uses dried herbs, and I didn't have those, but I had a few fresh herbs, so I'm just going to throw those in now. So again, when it calls for fresh and you've only got dry, do it that way. If it's the other way around, that you can make the rules that work for you and your family and the ingredients that you've got on hand. So 3 seconds, speed 7, super easy. Beautiful. I just realised I forgot my spatula. Sorry, guys. Spatula. Okay, so I just want to show you how quickly and beautifully that chopped all of that up. So for those of you with little kids at home and you want to hide vegetables, this is a great way to do it. Or if you're just making things and you want to pack more veggies in, it's a great way to do it too. This is probably a little bit fine, but this is sort of what you do if you were doing sort of a chopped vegetable salad. You'd do it on a slightly slower speed and you'd get sort of quite a diced vegetable salad, which is great. And in fact, we do those sorts of things in our demos. So if you're interested in seeing something like that, have a chat with your consultant and he or she will come and do that for you. So 20 grams of olive oil. The scales in the TM6 weigh to 1 gram increments. So when you're doing, and if you're a bit under or over, that's okay. But if you're doing baking and things that are really specific, that 1 gram, that's what chefs love about the Thermomix, is that it's really precise. So now it's asking me to pop the simmering basket in instead of the measuring cup. And we're just going to saute that for 3 minutes. And that's probably just about ready for Mandy's. How much time have you got, Mandy? Not one.
Sorry, I was just trying to find recipes on Cookie Do. I've got 2 minutes to go.
Oh, 2 minutes. Well, let's share a screen together and have a little chat. You were probably looking at the chat there. Are there any questions that we can answer while that's doing that?
No, I was just saying that there's lots of sizzle happening in my kitchen and found my recipe, and I was just finding your recipe to post in there too.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I can do that. I love the look of this recipe. And it's funny, whenever I do these classes, although my children literally had dinner half an hour before we started, and the reason it was that late is because I went to pick up my daughter from dancing, and then I was sitting in my car with my phone charging and the car not running, and guess what happened? Drained my battery. So had to get husband to come to the rescue. So I raced in the door, gave them dinner. But even though they had just eaten, they're like, what are you cooking tonight, Mum? Because I know as soon as the class is finished, they'll be in here wanting to have their second dinner.
That's one of the great things about being a consultant, isn't it? We can, we have a theme and then we choose what we want to make, and it's what we want to have for dinner the next night.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, that's the theme of next week's class, is consultant's choice. And what we will do next week is, and for those of you on here, if you do have a second bowl, give us some ideas around how you use that, because what we'll do next week is give people some ideas around how they use that. Now, if you've recently received a TM6 and you haven't had, or not even recently, it could even been in the last 12 months or whatever it might be, and you haven't had a delivery demo, by doing that, we can give you a 20% discount to our mix shop. So that might be an option for you to get hold of a second bowl or any other accessories in our mix shop that you might want to have a look at.
And there's lots to look in there. I'm actually going to be using a bowl. Oh, no, at least I have. Here we go. This is one of the bowls I'm using tonight. There's a set of 3 of these, and they have a non-slip bottom, and they go inside each other. They've got a little pouring spout. They're fantastic. Really, really good. Anyway, you can hear I'm done.
You're done. I don't have those yet, Mandy. So now I'm going to add that to my list.
They're really good, really good. Okay. All right. So there we go. That's, you can see that the lights have gone red, means we're over 60 degrees, so that the bowl is hot. Do not touch. Okay. Place in a bowl and set aside. So got my onions and my in there. I thought, why not use a thermosaver? So putting them in there. Just gonna,
that smells amazing.
It does smell amazing. Sorry, I just got to move you guys away a little bit whilst I scrape this all out. Sometimes when you are using the high caramelisation on the bottom of the bowl, but as soon as you add any liquid, it all forgotten what the right terminology is, but it sort of lifts it. So there we go. All right, come on, a little bit of onions.
That's the beauty of the high heat, because it replicates a fry pan. So in a fry pan, you let it sizzle and sort of caramelize on the bottom, and then you give it a stir, and then you let it sizzle, and then you give it a stir. But when you're doing that in a fry pan, you've got to stand there. Whereas when you're doing it in your Thermix, it replicates and replaces you, so you can do something else.
All right. So now I've got a whole lot of vegetables here. I've got some carrots. I've got some, I didn't have sugar snap peas, couldn't find them, so I've got beans instead. And I have snow peas, and they're julienne. They're on the bottom, so I've, reversed my recipe so the things are going in the right order. That's my snow peas. Okay, that's my other bowl. I've got red capsicum, which is actually a mixture of red and green, because that's what we had in the fridge. Another 20 grams of olive oil. Another 22 grams of olive oil. And again, splash guard on. And this is going to cook for 15 minutes. So as Michelle said, the great thing about this is, I've had 6 minutes. I know I wouldn't be getting my washing off the line at this time of night, but 3 minutes to get my washing off the line. I've now got 15 minutes to do something else. And you can usually get your kitchen nice and clean whilst it's actually cooking for you. So it's great. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Mandy. Yeah, exactly. It's that set and forget. So instead of standing at the stove, what would you be doing in that time? So in summer, it's always bringing the washing in, but this time of year, it might just be sit down and have a cup of tea and get off your feet for a few minutes. So whatever you can do, it might be, spending some time with the kids or running away from the kids, whichever one's more necessary at the time. So the 3 minutes of sauteing is finished. And it already smells good. So you can see that beautiful base there. I haven't steamed up my camera. Beautiful. And the next ingredient is the water, because this is one of those all-in-one pasta dishes. So the sauce, while it's steaming, is actually going to cook the pasta as well. So 400 grams of water. And again, 1 gram increment, super easy. So as you get close, sort of you can slow down a little bit. There we go. I got there and then I went a bit over, but again, that's okay. Very forgiving, these recipes. Now it says 800 grams of tomatoes. I've got 2 400s here. Let's pop those in. Try not to spill them on the bench. Beautiful. We were having a laugh the other night about when we were first doing Zoom things and the amount of times we, poured, showing to the camera and poured things on our laptop, and we were having quite a laugh at some of those things. So next is our stock paste. So it says 2 teaspoons. I'm pretty heavy-handed with the stock paste. I love this. Put in the chat if you've got this in your fridge at the moment. This is one of our, I always joke that if I'm running out of stock paste, I get a bit of anxiety and I've got to make more. So I just made some more yesterday. But it is one of those things where value, as far as cost savings go, you can make a litre of stock for less than 20 cents. So for those of you who are buying stock, liquid stock, what do you pay for that? I know it's at least $4. And then, you know, depending on if you need specialty ones, it's a lot more than that as well. So now all of these veggies are going in the Varoma. So it's there's capsicum, zucchini, mushroom, and it's at 150 grams of fresh or frozen peas. So I try to always have peas in the freezer because it's such a good thing to be able to throw into any dish and add a bit of extra protein to it as well. So I'm just scraping all that in there, and I'm going to show you because it's quite full. I'm going to break up my peas because one of those is a big frozen lump. But if you have a bit of a look there, that's quite a full aroma of veggies. I'm going to push that to the bottom so it cooks out. There we go. So on that goes. So it's capsicum, zucchini, frozen peas, mushrooms, and feta cheese. So 200 gram block of feta cheese. So I've got that just all sort of diced up there. So I'm going to stick that on the top as well. And now this is where it says to season with salt and thyme, which, as I said, I don't have that. I'm going to season it with salt and pepper. That's the Italian in me. If you ask any chef what adds the flavour to the food, it's usually salt and butter, isn't it? So I'm going to add salt and pepper to that. And that was also why I was quite heavy-handed with vegetable stock paste as well. So now it's just pop the lid on and cook for 9 minutes. So Mandy's got her 15-minute cook happening. I've got my 9-minute cook happening, and the gorgeous Irene has got a special treat for us. So we'll pop over to Irene's house and see what she's doing.
Hi, everyone. Happy hump day, Wednesday. I love hump day, closer to the weekend. I am making this beautiful dish. So it's our mango chia pudding. I looked at the price. I think they're about $3 for a little chia pudding dish. So this is probably about a quarter of that to make yourself. I do have a big chest freezer. So I've actually got frozen mango that I buy them by the box, you know, peak season, late January, February, when they're really, really cheap to get by the box. And I just freeze them, vacuum seal them, throw them in the fridge, and then I've got them for, I haven't got many left now because they're, you know, almost gone, but it's great to use up. But obviously this time of year, can't find mangoes or they're really, really expensive. Just use seasonal fruit. You know, we've got some beautiful pears, there's persimmon, you know, even with the apples, you can do some stewed apples to make this dish as well. So lots to choose from. And the other thing I was going to say, it's I've been with Thermomix for 13 years. I was going to say, time flies when you're having fun. So come and join us. We want to have more people on our team. Okay, this is a dish with 4 ingredients, which is really, really simple. So it's got basically the mango or any fruit that you want to use. We've got our chia seeds, 75 grams. This recipe calls for almond milk. You can make your own almond milk. Got a great recipe on there. I'm actually just using a tin of coconut because coconut and mango, match made in heaven. And I'm using a dash of maple syrup. You could swap that out for some coconut sugar. You could use some honey instead. If you don't want to use milk, you can definitely use water, even cheaper, but it needs some flavor. So maybe even some vanilla would be great for that. So really simple. We're going to start by just literally pulping down or mushing up a little bit of our mango. So we'll do that. So we're talking 5 seconds, speed 8.
We always talk about the power of the machine, and it's the sound of saving you money. You can create a process yourself without having to pay the supermarkets to do it for you. That looks delicious already, Irene.
I was going to say, good for a margarita.
Yeah, margarita or smoothies for kids. So, you know, we were talking about this the other day about
our puree's done. So basically says just pour it out. And we're going to use this in between our layers to flavour our chia pudding, which is lovely. This is one of my favourites, and it's so easy to make and really, really cost effective, really quick breakfast, because I'm making it tonight under 10 minutes and it'll be ready in the morning for me to take to work or have. Okay, not washing out the bowl, no need. To that, whoops, I think I've missed a step. Scrape down the sides. I think wants me to mush it again. We're not doing that. I think we're okay. Okay, in with my chia seeds, 75 grams. It asks for 375 grams of almond milk. This is a 400 ml tin. I think I'm good with that. And like I said, you could use your own almond milk, water with a bit of vanilla would work as well. We're going to put in a splash of maple syrup. Could be honey. Might go a little bit more. Because that's a Greek splash. We'll never measure. Lid on. This is going to mix for 30 seconds on speed 2. So, a couple of options. Can you guys still hear me? Great. Okay. So if you go onto our mix shop, we sell these little gorgeous jars which you can use for your yogurt. These are great for storing this as well. I've got, little glass jars. This is a little kilner jar that I've got as well. Mum hates mango, so this is all for me. And I may not necessarily want to have it every single day. So the other thing you can do is freeze it. So I can actually pour some of that, layer it, and I'm going to pop that in the freezer. So half I'll probably leave in the fridge. The rest I'm just going to freeze. That's it. So all I have to do now is layer. So if you guys want to watch me layer, happy to do that. Or come back to me.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be good for you to show us a couple there.
So it says to pour it out, but I'm just going to do it from here. So I'm just going to mix that through. So obviously as it sits, it needs to sit for at least 4 hours. Those chia seeds are going to expand. So don't fill your jars to the top. Give it some room to expand. I might do one in the little kilner. Might lower it a little bit so you can see it.
Has anyone on here made chia puddings before?
These are delicious, so yummy, so good for you. The nutritional value in chia seeds is great, good for heart health. So layer.
The thing I love about them is I feel like I'm having dessert for breakfast, but you're actually having something really healthy.
Actually really good for you. So I'm going to do a layer of the puree. You could have pureed more, but I don't think you need to.
And you could even actually keep your fruit whole, couldn't you, Irene?
The other thing too is, sometimes I wouldn't even bother doing the fruit. Just do that. I'm doing what I said you shouldn't do, which is layer it too much.
Overfill the jar.
Overfill the jar. Maybe just a spoonful more of the, a little bit of the mango on top. So I've got some chunks here as well, but I won't fit them into this one. I might do them in the frozen one. And that's it. So seal it and pop it into your fridge. So that's ready to go. Really, really cost effective. So like I said, without the fruit, it's about $3 outside for about $1.50. This is probably a 200, 250 gram jar. I'm going to get probably 4 or 5 times that. So really, really cost effective to do your own. And the frozen one, same idea. Except I'm getting it all over the bench now. Oops. So just lay to the bottom. And so if I wanted this, the frozen one, I'd just pull it out. Might even have it as a dessert or lunch, like it's one of those things you can feel comfortable eating. It's quite good for you. Did anyone respond? Is anyone making the chia?
There's actually A few people have said yes, and then there's been some really good tips around adding, if you wanted extra protein, you could add extra protein powder in with the chia mix.
Yeah, you could do nuts as well, so you could probably blend some nuts in there if you wanted to.
And then,
yep, sorry.
Diana's put a link to a chocolate chia pudding. Of course she has. She's the naughty one.
Yeah, you
So
could do
we'll
cocoa.
have to check that one out. I haven't made that one.
And so with this one, I'm going to add. This is quite indulgent for this time of year.
And then, as you know, people are saying in here, Diana might eat 4 chocolate puddings. For those of you who weren't with us a couple of weeks ago, Diana did make some steamed sticky date puddings, and she ate 4 before the class was over. And there's tips around, as you've got your chunks of fruit, you know, add in seeds or nuts, or, you know.
Yeah, so I often just do the chia seeds on their own, and then it'll be whatever I've got. So it could be banana that I pop over the top of it. So that one's ready to go in the freezer for me. And I've still got enough to do probably 2 or 3, at least another 3, I would have thought. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect.
So good with the coconut.
Awesome. Well, that's perfect timing, Irene, because
Here's someone dinging, yes.
my shirt thermic's chiming. So
Okay.
it is, thank you so much. So here we are. Next step. Yes, I can hear you. So remove the Varoma. So you notice, lift it down like this and pop the dish down. So and there's not a lot of steam yet. So, but you're moving it away from you, and we're going to add the pasta. So it says 350 grams of short dried pasta. I find penne works really well in these types of sauces. So, and there are dishes that use things like spaghetti or fettuccine, and I find if you've got little kids, I still swear by penne because it stays together and it's easier for them to eat as well. So I'm just going to stir that through a little bit, and I'm actually going to show you and not attempt to not tip it on my top, but I've actually got a really, as you can see, I've got a really full bowl there, and keeping in mind that when that pasta's cooked, that bowl's going to be really full. So this is a big volume of food. So now it's saying secure that back into position, and now it's going to cook for 10 minutes. So I'm going to put that on and just bring you closer again to just show you that now what it's doing is it's got this little wooden spoon. So that's our sort of soft stir or slow stir, and it's got our little reverse arrow. So now that the penne's in, we don't want that to break up. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Thermomix or have only got it recently, what you can also do is when you want to know what your next step in a recipe is, we've got this preview button here. So by tapping the preview button, I can see what my next step is. And actually the next step of this dish is that it's actually ready. How cool is that? The other thing that you can do is these 3 little dots here will take you into different areas as well. So if you need to see the full recipe detail, you can go in here and you can scroll through your whole recipe. So one of the things that one of the tips I give people when they're cooking anything that has a base, and most of our dishes have a base, sort of onion, garlic base, which will be sauteing for maybe 3 to 5 minutes, get that on straight away. And then you can go into your recipe detail. And in that, we sort of say, what do you do in that 3 to 5 minutes? We women, sorry, you men probably too, but let's be honest, in the kitchen, I think we do pretty well. We can achieve a lot in that 3 to 5 minutes. So you can go, right, I need to chop my capsicum, I need to slice my zucchini. So you can be getting those ingredients that you're going to need next ready by having a look through that recipe preview section there. So has anybody got any questions so far? Is there anything in the chat that I can't see? Has anyone?
Diana's saying she would eat 4 chocolate. She would eat 4 chocolate.
We never doubted you, Diana. We never doubted you.
No.
So this recipe is part of our layered cooking collection. So for those of you who are already on Cookie Do, you may or may not have seen, but this layered cooking collection landed on Monday night. And so we in the team have been cooking all different dishes. So last night I did a sort of Chinese style rice where there was rice cooking, there was chicken with the high heat, and then a big Varoma full of vegetables as well. And it was a 25-minute dish. So there are a lot of really great dishes on there that work out as midweek meals. And, you know, with that, if you didn't want to do the chicken in that and just have the rice and vegetables, you could actually just skip that part. because the vegetables were delicious, and then you made a really nice sauce to go over it all at the end as well. So what we found is that a lot of people now are eating plant-based a couple of nights a week. You know, some people obviously are fully vegetarian or plant-based, but even people who go, no, I eat everything, but I'm just trying to do that, you know, 2 or 3 nights a week just to add to sort of their health, but also the sort of the cost benefits of eating vegetables. And if you know, I know if you go to sort of some fancy grocers, it's not so cheap, but I go up to my local market. If you're in Bayside and you know Chesterfield Road, the corner of Chesterfield Road and Keys Road, the Moorabbin Farmers Market, such a great place to shop. I bought a bag of capsicums the other day. They were $2.99 a kilo. Now I know in the supermarkets they're, you know, sort of $6 or $8 a kilo. So there's some really good savings to be had buying those sorts of things if you're a bit savvy about it as well. So and freezing is our friend. So like Irene said with her mangoes, in summer when they're in season, buy them, freeze them, and then you've got them for later in the year as well to make all different things. How are you going, Mandy? Are you?
I'm ready to go.
No, you were looking like you were ready, and I was just like,
yeah, I know. She keeps going.
keeps talking. Here you go.
All right, fantastic. So I'll see if I can do like Michelle and show you what's in here. So that's those beautiful veggies that have been cooking for the last 15 minutes on the high heat. And the next thing I have to do is just add 30 grams of soy sauce. And then that leek and onion mixture is going back in. So, like Michelle said, I've got a really full bowl as well. Okay. And I'm putting in a couple of pinches of salt. And some black pepper. And now it's asking me to pop the lid on, but without the measuring cup. And again, as Michelle showed you there, we're on stir because we don't want anything chopping. And it's going to go to 100 degrees for 2 minutes. And just on speed stir. So that's 2 minutes. Did you want to show them a little bit of cookie dough or something, Michelle?
Yes, that is a wonderful idea. Let me just pull that up. Is there anyone here who's not on cookie dough? I can't see if you are or you aren't, but what you can do with cookie dough is actually access a 30-day free trial. So if you are interested in doing that, jump on to cookiedough.com.au and it's COOKIDOO, and you can access a 30-day free trial and just see what it's all about. Now, you don't have to have a TM6 to do this. You can do it with any machine, and if you've got a TM5 and a cook key is how you would sync with cookie dough. But I've also got a lot of TM31 customers who just use cookie dough and they cook manually. And in the filters, they can search TM31 only recipes because the volume for TM5 and TM6 are higher. Also, if you're in a TM5 customer, you can search TM5 specific recipes because the TM6 specific recipes will use modes that you don't have. So here you are. And as you might notice, this is what it looks like when you saw my screen before. So the beauty of cookie dough is that it looks the same whether you are on your laptop, your phone, your Thermomix. So you're not learning different formats or for different devices. So as we mentioned before, you could type in an ingredient that you've got. Did anyone put anything that they've got in their fridge? I'm just going to use sweet potatoes as my example because this was actually something that happened to me just recently, and I went, oh, I've bought extra sweet potato without realising it. So I typed it in, and then this is the sort of thing that you come up with. So this silky sweet potato mash is to die for if you haven't tried that before. Now this, Mandy has actually recommended this to me, and it's on my list, but I haven't made it yet. So not vegetarian, but for the pescatarians out there, it's a fish soup with sweet potato. But what I could do actually, sticking with our vegetarian theme, is actually go into the filters and say, I'm actually looking for a main dish that is vegetarian. So it will actually eliminate all the ones that do have any fish or meat or anything. So down here it says show 60 results, and I can go in and have a look at what those 60 results are. So this is what I love, because you've got, you know, you've got curries, you've got shakshuka, you've got frittatas. So there's all different, you know, a lasagna. So there's all different options here with that one ingredient. Well, this one's a goodie if you haven't made that one before, this sweet potato and zucchini frittata. You've got this beautiful salad here with roast sweet potato and broccoli. So lots of different, and a sweet potato gnocchi. So lots of different options here with that one ingredient. Now, if you had something else, maybe you've got some capsicum, so you could also type that in, and then it'll reduce it down to the ones that have those exact vegetables. Oh, I think I've made this, the vegetable stew. So when you're having a look through, if you see something that you like the look of, these three little dots here give you options, a lot of different options. So you can add it to a collection, you can cook it today, you can add it to your week. So you can go, oh, that looks great, I might make that on Friday, and save that. And if I'm going to make that Friday, I better add it to my shopping list as well. So I can add it to my shopping list. And then you can do lots of different things there. Now, if I got to Friday and I didn't make that, what else is down here? Oh, that sounds yummy too. Lots of chili non-carb. I love it. I often make no banana bread. So similar, same, but different. So when I go into my week here, I can then go through to my shopping list and go show ingredients. And it can show me by recipe or by category. So if you're at home, you go into this category list here and then tick off the things you've got in your pantry. So, yep, I've got olive oil, I don't need to buy that. I've got tomatoes, I need to buy those, I don't, you know, so you can flick through, and it also has it in the order that you would see it in the supermarket. So you're in the spices and seasonings aisle, you're in the fresh vegetables aisle, you're in the dairy aisle. So you can go through, tick off the things you don't have, and then you're left with just the things that you need. So you then have the choice, you can share that list. So by sharing it, you can copy it to a text message or email and send it to someone and go, can you pick these up on the way home? If you do like print copies, you can do that as well. But otherwise, this is where the magic happens. You can go order ingredients and it will take you straight through the Woolworths cart. Now, it'll choose brands, and I don't know how that bit works, how it chooses the brands, but if it's not the brand you like, you can go into this little swap button here and it'll give you all the different options of kidney beans. So if you go, actually, I prefer this macro one here, I'm going to select that one, and then it'll change that out for you. So you can go through and do that with any of your ingredients there. That's interesting. I just noticed that $2.98 each versus, I think I paid $2.99 a kilo the other day. So there you go. And when you're ready, you can go add to cart, and then you can decide whether you are going to click and collect or have it delivered. How is that for a perfectly timed cookie dough that my dish is now ready? But I'm guessing your dish is also ready, Mandy.
Mine is.
All right.
Would you have a look at it?
Do you want to go to you first?
Yeah, sure.
All righty. I think I'm going to have to get out a giant bowl because I don't think my thermoserve is big enough to put this in.
All right. So there is mine. There, ready to go. And I've got a whole lot more in this thermoserver too. So it does make a lot of vegetables, which is cool. The only comment I would make is, if you remember the first section, I did 6 minutes of high heat, and those that had the onion and the leek in there, I'd actually cook that a little bit longer because the other veggies were in there for 15 minutes. So you could just go back, repeat the step. You don't have to do it for the full length of time, but I did another couple of minutes on there. Okay, but it looks really good. And let me just show you again. So I can hold this up and give you an aerial view. There you go.
Oh, yummy. Are you doing a live taste test, Mandy?
Oh, I can, except I can't. I'm not very good with chopsticks. They're just for show. I might get a fork. Right. Live taste test. Come on. Yeah. I keep eating pasta with the leek sort of broken up. It's actually really good. And and if you think about it, it was just literally veggies. The only other flavouring is a little bit of soy sauce. And we have the garlic in there, salt and pepper. Easy.
And your curry powder.
Oh, and the curry powder, that's what it was. I was sure that was something else.
Yeah.
Anyway, really good.
Simple ingredients, because and I guess the beauty of that recipe too is that you could substitute what, as you say, what you've got. So if you've always got curry powder in the pantry, which I'm sure, I can't imagine there's anyone on here tonight who'd say they don't have curry powder in the pantry. And if you've got a Thermix, you can whip it up pretty quick too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yep. So looking forward to this dinner tomorrow night.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Here I am back again. Thanks, Mandy. That's awesome. All righty. So I'm actually getting a bit nervous about just putting this in the thermoserver because it's made so much. So what I'm going to do, I'm lifting my, actually, I'm not doing that. I'm doing that first and lifting my Varoma down. And oh, those veggies look so good. I'm going to lift up the camera rather than lift that. So there's all the veggies there. So I'll transfer those into my thermoserver here. Better and all that. Yum. So that's a whole thermoserver, almost full of just the veggies. Pop that aside. And then I've got here my other whole thermoserver. Oh, sorry, my jug full of pasta, tomatoey pasta with, and that had that carrot mix with all those other yummy bits as well. So I'm actually going to do it in this giant bowl so you can just see the quantity, because it's not all going to fit. It does say combined, but I'm not going to fit it all in that one thing. So just so you can see here, and for those, this is a little tip I like to share. The Thermix has an ergonomic handle. So when you're lifting it in and out of the base, you'll be holding the top of the triangle. But when you go to pour it, if you hold the top of the triangle, then you sort of got to get your whole back into it, like I'm a little teapot. So if you hold it just down here and just pour it like that, and I'm going to tip the camera down now so you can just see the volume here, and just tip it down like this. That makes so much. That is crazy. I'm excited about this because often I go, this will be tomorrow night's dinner, and then the girls come out and eat whatever I've just made, and I have to make another dinner. But this makes so much. There's enough for them to have a serve tonight and another serve tomorrow night. Beautiful. Have a look at that. This is a giant bowl. It's one of those big giant silver.
Looks amazing.
It's so pretty. I love that whole eat the rainbow thing.
Yeah.
There you go. Have a look. Back up again. But, you know, that's a very big bowl of pasta. I'm very excited about this. Very excited.
Looks amazing. So are you going to do a taste test?
Well, I actually was just about to say, I'm going to pause a minute before doing a taste test because it is red hot. So I'm just going to, you know, rather than burn my mouth in front of everybody, I'm just going to talk for like a minute before I have a little taste test. But thank you for joining us. They are our 3 dishes for tonight. I'd love you to pop in the chat what you liked and which ones you might make, or if you've got any questions about any of them or substitutions you'd make or suggestions, we'd love to hear that. As I mentioned at the start, I might not have mentioned the price, but the TM6 is 2359. We are expecting a price increase early July. So we don't know what that will be yet. We're going to find out around the 20th of June. So once we do know, for those of you who are sort of deciding if now's the right time for you, we will share that information. But the offer for the second bowl or second jug ends on the 15th of June at midnight. So next Thursday night. We are doing another Zoom class next Wednesday night. So if you want to see some more dishes, please join us then for that. And I did mention that if you are interested in earning your Thermix, so I think, you know, I feel really enjoyed tonight, girls. We always say, you know, when we do these, we all just have this, you know, warm, fuzzy feeling. And a few of the girls who have been on here tonight and making the lovely comments are actually all girls in the team that we've, you know, met over, whether it be over a few years or a few months, and just really connected with over our love of either cooking or eating, one or the other, or sometimes both. But if you are interested in knowing even a little bit about it, we do have information sessions, and we've got another one on Friday morning at 10:30. So if you would like to join us, we would love to have you there. The Earn For offer does finish on the 23rd of this month. So you've still got a couple of weeks to get in there. anything I've forgotten there? Oh, I will just say, although we're doing this on Zoom tonight, and we do love doing Zooms, we've been doing lots of in-home demos again as well. And we have loved standing around the bench with people and, you know, you and 2 or 3 friends and cooking with you and having the full sensory experience. Because although this is hopefully a great visual experience, I know that you're probably sitting there going, I wish I could taste that too. So have a chat with your consultant, because we would love to do a demo with you. Every time you do a demo, you'll learn something more. So I talked about our layered cooking collection. You know, we also talk about the more demos you host, the more you learn. So it's, you know, it's a layered learning experience as well. And it does open you up to host rewards. So any of those things, if you're interested, please reach out to your consultant, because we would love to do that for you. All right, I'm getting my fork into here. Any questions or comments in the chat there, girls?
Just about different cheeses people would use. Bocconcini, cube mozzarella. And someone says, Lorraine says that feta could also add protein, and guess you could try tofu or cashews. Yeah,
actually, that's a really good tip. I was actually thinking before too that a bit like sort of, because this was reminding me a little bit of a couple of other, you know, a cross between sort of a minestrone, but then our creamy tomato and pasta salami dish. And I thought, you know, you could actually put even a can of cannellini beans or something like that in there to add some protein. So I tried to get a little bit of everything there. So I'm going in.
That looks like a big mouthful. To be messy.
You've seen me eat.
Good. She can't talk. For once in her life, she can't talk.
Well, that's funny.
You're funny. You know what's funny? I'm looking at myself here, and my daughter, when I make new things, she loves trying it, and she always does that. She'll have her mouth full and she goes, as she's chewing. So I just looked at me and I do that. I just did exactly the same thing. Yeah, that's delicious.
So which came first, you or her doing that?
Well, I know, right? Mini me. Do you know what else I reckon I'd add is you could add olives. That'd be yummy. Yeah, it's perfect just the way it is, but it's one of those dishes you could just do what you like. Honestly, you'd use what you've got in your fridge. You wouldn't rush out and buy anything. You know, if you had broccoli in your fridge, throw it in. You know, whatever you've got, throw it in. It's delicious. And it is, if you're cooking for the week, this would be a couple of nights' meals, I reckon, as well. So there you go. That's it from us. That was a live taste test. I will send through the recording tomorrow, and I will send through the link to join if you would like to come on to our business information session on Friday. But we'll stop recording now, and we will just stay around for a few minutes if any of you would like to talk with us or ask any questions. All right. So thank you so much for joining us, and happy cooking. Where is my, oh, there we go.